Sash, man, I can't thank you enough. I have been fangirling over you for a while, and man, I've been itching to get you in the seat to talk to you. Thank you so much, man, for being part of this.
Oh, it's my pleasure, dude. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, that's quite an introduction, so I appreciate it.
Well, we'll just fire straight off because, I look at you and like Triple J have given you a lot of love, right? Australian Idol a couple of years ago, you got top 10, sold out headlining show. And you're also like Wham Award winner, right? Now, I look at that and I'm like, man, any one of those individually is something I think a lot of musicians aspire to. You've been around for a little while. I'm so fascinated. Like, what do you look back on as your proud achievements? Like, that's what we see, but what do you see, man?
Oh, wow. Thank you, man. Yeah, wow. I'd say number one, consistency.
Right.
Like, I've been releasing every year since I was 17, and I've always put something out.
Wow.
And I'm 27 this year. So to have backed it up through different projects and different periods of my life and have that time capsule of the last decade and music every single year released and recorded and working with people that I love to work with, that's probably the biggest achievement. It's like I really went out and did it.
Yeah. You're living it. You're the proof, man. Like what if, like over that time, I hear evolution when I listen. I go back to like Jackknife and like Receiver and those sorts of songs, right? Like what do you hear? How do you feel like you've evolved?
Yeah, I think it was in a way channeling what I love to listen to and going from that kind of indie rock thing that we did at the start and, loving different artists and then actually kind of returning to the music I grew up with as a teenager and getting back into acoustic and that folk songwriter thing has been a real full circle for me because that's like what I started on and that's what got me into music when I was a teenager, like playing the acoustic and Ben Howard and all that good stuff and like growing up in the Southwest and being by the sea and all those familiar scenes, then just kind of like, especially coming out of Idol, I think I really returned to the honesty and the authenticity that kind of has to come with being a solo acoustic act.
Yeah.
And I just fell into the way that connection resonates with other people and loving playing solo shows. So it's definitely been a full circle through different genres and even with different bands before. Like I was in punk bands and metal bands and all sorts of stuff. So I've definitely like channeled different interests as I've grown up. But now it's felt really like just effortless and subconscious and somehow just really right to return to the acoustic and the solo thing. And that's where it feels like is my thing now.
Yeah, because it really feels like Raised by Rivers, like you said, there was a real, and Receiver too, they've got a really cool like driving beats and stuff to it, real sort of indie rock kind of stuff. I've heard, I hear a lot of like Ryan Adams in those sorts of tracks, right?
Yeah.
But then, the latest stuff that you've been releasing since then over the last couple of years, far more folky, like blue, smooth, silky blue dress, smooth blue dress,
soft blue dress. Close enough.
That was with Ben Camden.
Yeah. So Ben and I had just, he was like my favorite artist. He was my favorite singer on the East Coast. And I was just like, who is this guy? And just got chatting over the gram and all of a sudden a collaboration came out and he's still one of my favorite artists in the whole country with that style, that indie folk thing. He's just amazing. So such a pleasure to do a track with him. And
who asked who the question?
I definitely was fangirling him for sure. And then we went to Sydney. We were on tour and he lives in New South Wales and I got him to come out and play some shows with me. And he plays the sax live. So we did a like vocal harmony and then he was just shredding on he's a wizard player. So like just a monster musician. So I was a huge fan of him. I think it's also, Cav Templey had a huge impact on those earlier songs who I'm sure probably most people know, but maybe the younger folks listening would, lead singer of Eskimo Joe and lead songwriter. He was a co-writer on a lot of those earlier tracks. So Receiver and Raised by Rivers were produced and co-written with Cav in his studio and definitely leaning into that like big rock show,
Yeah.
indie thing in the same vein as how he likes to go and play a gig. And at the time, Ryan Adams, Sam Fender, albums like that, like
Yeah.
were really exciting for me. So I wanted to do like a band thing, and I just kind of fell in love with a philosophy and an ethos that I think has really become my approach to music now, which is like, when you're a solo artist, you can travel and tour a lot with music. And I've started looking at music as a means to live rather than just living to do the craft. And
Right.
I felt like in younger years, when I was very much in a learning phase and needing to study and needing to kind of get my stripes and play a lot of gigs to learn the craft, I was kind of slaving away, and just like my whole obsession was just around playing. But now, as I reach a different chapter of life, I'm really approaching music as like a means to live well and live by the values that are important to me. Like this tour coming up that we're leaving for this week is like very much built around my lifestyle and the things I love to do, and I can't wait to meet people when we're on the road, and I love to play the shows, but I'm also like excited about where we're going and going up to Exmouth. And
man, it was such a beautiful pocket of the world.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah. And just like getting to surf every day and be in the ocean and be in those beautiful places. Like, I'm excited to kind of take touring further and further out with that sort of mentality, which is like, we're playing a show tonight and we have sound check, but we're also surfing right now, and we're probably going to be here as long as you possibly can until we have to go to sound check. Like, using music as a vehicle to live a meaningful life has become much more interesting for me long term.
That's joy, man. You've mentioned the collab, Cav Templey and Ben Camden. How does songwriting with other people work? You know, like do you come across ideas, or do they come across ideas that don't resonate with you? Like, how do you kind of how does one write with someone else?
Yeah, I think it's seen as more daunting than it needs to be. I think songwriting is often viewed as like this esoteric kind of magical gift that we're born with, but it's very much a craft that you can learn over time. And I would like definitely recommend to younger crew who are getting their stripes as artists to write with more experienced songwriters. Like, Cav's got credits with dozens of great songs and as well as, big number one ARIA winning hits on his own project. So I just found that if you've got a song that's maybe 5 minutes, he'll show you how to trim the fat and, make something that's hooky in 3 minutes 30. And when you're trying to approach radio or playlisting and, approaching music in a way where you want your message to get heard, learning those skills are definitely skills that I took into subsequent EPs and releases after working with Cav. And I still write with him now. So I would definitely recommend the co-writing thing. If you can meet with people who are experienced, it's super valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've achieved a lot, I feel, and now you've got this, this ability to kind of use music to live really with a great sense of fulfillment. But in the same breath, are there targets? Are there goals that you set musically for yourself?
Yeah, I'm learning, because I think I'm sure you've heard this with many artists, but it's an industry that can often lead you astray with defining expectations, setting out with certain goals in mind, and then potentially falling short of those goals. My goal was always to be a lifelong career musician and chase a lifelong career of not, fixing guitars or doing sound for bands. I wanted to play. I wanted to be a musician and play every day. And so for me, the goal is just continuing in a sustainable way that I stay in love with it. For me, that means playing every day. I love sound check. I love rolling into gigs. I love performing and meeting people, and being creative is an integral part of staying in love with it as well. But I'm definitely someone who's driven by, as soon as I picked the guitar up when I was a teenager, I was like, that was it. Like, I just wanted to, I would just want to do this, and I want to live in this world. And there was a long time when I was coming up and learning finding my way that I didn't really know how to make that work and didn't know how I was going to be a full-time muso. And just to be here now and just be picking it up every day and doing stuff like this every day, like I'm just, tremendously grateful to be playing. And so the goal is just to stay in it and make that equation sustainable, I would say. And like awards and like getting love from radio or getting a Spotify playlist is like super nice. Like it's always, you know, a benefit. But I think if you're approaching music predominantly with those goals in mind, you can rid yourself some of the joy in the process. So I think true wealth in any career or any job is like just loving what you do every day. And so my goal is just to structure touring and structure my career, which is fiercely independent now. Like I don't have booking agents. I don't really work with management.
Oh, wow.
I like to run my own hustle, and there's many things about this tour that we're doing on the weekend that probably don't make sense by music industry standards, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
And particularly the songwriters, the solo acts, the independent musos, people like Ziggy Alberts have got a great culture around not doing stuff because it's the done thing, like tread your own path. And for me, staying in it forever will be the ultimate win. So that's the goal.
Yeah, cool. You talk about sustainability, and I think a lot of artists, suffer their own criticism, right? And things like Idol and things like that. There must have been waves that you've gone through. Have there been challenges that you've faced, like in yourself, like either questioning your skill set, questioning your drive, or your direction, or your song choice, or whatever? And how did you kind of navigate that?
Sure. Yeah, massively. Like I still can't listen back to anything from Idol because it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like
wow.
I felt I was very under-experienced as a singer, and I went and did a bunch of vocal coaching after Idol, and I'm still doing it now.
Really?
Because I wasn't happy with the way I performed. And I think being constantly subjected to your own self-criticism, as most creative people are, it can rob a lot of the joy of doing this job and all the things that we love to do about this. So the thing that drives me and helps me to overcome feelings of insecurity or self-criticism is just like, no one can stop you from getting better. Like if you release a song and it flops, or you don't get the result you're looking for in any musical related venture or in life, I just think the thing that gets me up in the morning is there's always an opportunity to improve and to learn something. And I never want to stop taking coaching and tuition and learning and continuing to just chase the dragon with the craft. Because like you look at, a lot of my like favorite musical idols, like Chris Stapleton, for example, who are kind of in their 40s and 50s and they still rip live. They're still so good, and they're just getting better with that seasoning. So I just want to be releasing a long time from now, and I want to be able to hear that that progression through the years, which I still hear now. Like I can't listen to myself at all really, but particularly like, 2021 stuff where I just had a long way to go as a singer. It makes me kind of squirm and cringe a little bit now, but listening to the last EP that just came out, like I can hear that I got better. So
I was about to dovetail there. Like something happened, and whether it was Idol or something like that, but something happened. I feel like after Rivers, and either in how it's recorded or what you've captured there, but you're so present. Your voice is such a key part of those songs, and such a beautiful part of those songs as well.
Thank you.
And I re-listened to it in preparation for this, your recent songs, and I can't think of anyone that you now sound like other than Sash.
Cool.
Yeah, and I don't know if you feel that there are, I don't know, similarities with kind of your idols, whatever, or your influences that you are trying to emulate, or if you just locked in on your path.
I think it's that consistency piece coming back again, which is a core value of mine. Like I'm trying to play about 120, 150 shows a year. And so if you stack up those reps, and, I've had 3 different vocal coaches since Idol, and always working on things and trying to get better. Like I think in the musical world, and particularly just arts in general, there's a huge premium put on talent and like this God-given kind of meritocracy idea where you're born with it and you're special and that's the end of the story, and then everyone else isn't special. But I think like it's a small portion of having a nice voice or having some sort of natural affinity with the instrument, but it's that 10,000 hours, and I don't think I'm there yet with the 10,000 hours. Like I've got plenty more gigs to go and plenty more lessons.
Wow.
So I look at the music, and when I hear that, particularly in my voice, which was always my weakest point, I was the most insecure about. When I hear that progression, it inspires me to keep going, and I feel like I've got a long way to go still, but there's plenty more in the tank, and that inspires me to keep striving.
And I guess most importantly, do you feel like your progression has got you to a point where you can enjoy your instrument, like enjoy your voice when you play?
It's an interesting one. I think I struggled a lot with low self-esteem when I was growing up, like my kind of late teens, early 20s, and some of those songs are kind of written about learning to cultivate a better relationship with yourself. Like Raised by Rivers is a lot about learning to get out of a self-loathing pattern and kind of rid yourself of like the scars of your upbringing to hopefully get to a better equilibrium of feeling at peace within yourself. And that's been a long journey for me. Man, I'm still working on it, if I'm honest with you, like to actually step back and, release a song, release an EP, and like have a big, moment of accomplishment, I suppose, or have a big win. Like you have to learn to cultivate that compassion with yourself and pat yourself on the back. So I just am often guilty of just zeroing in on the next mountain to climb. You have that shifting goalpost, like you release a song, you tick off a goal on your to-do list, and it's like, now what's next? So in a way, I think you can always be a little bit dissatisfied, but then you can always be kind of unconditionally content. And for me, like, if I'm enjoying the process and I'm able to sink my teeth into the process every day, then I'm a happy guy.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've talked a couple of times about Idol, right? Yeah. And, top 10. But I think getting to the top 10 is such a rare thing to experience, I'd love to pick your brain, like how do you summarize your experience there? Like what are some of the things that like you went through that as a public we didn't get to see, and what is some of the, I guess, the, like, how did that help? Did it help?
Yeah. Look, I would say it was the single biggest stroke of luck in my whole career. It was a game changer for what doors opened for me doing Idol. When it came out, I didn't think I was a good fit for it because I'm not really a pop star by any means, and a lot of people around me were telling me not to do it, particularly like in my kind of team, like management figures and mentors were like, don't do this, because suggesting that, you lose some of your like indie alternative act sort of credit, like maybe going away from that more Triple J artist into that more Channel 7, like home and away character sort of vibe. And there was a bit of that. I loved it because, I'm naturally like an introverted guy and a bit more reserved, and it forces you to kind of become media trained. You get comfortable in front of a camera, and it forced me out of my shell a little bit, which I think is important if you want to be a public figure. Like, I love a lot of introverted artists like your Chris Stapletons or even like Eddie Vedder or something, but eventually you have to learn to perform and address an audience. It went better than I was ever expecting it to go. I just wanted to get one shot on stage, and I thought that would be like top 50, and I thought that would be a little notch in the belt that would help me on in my career, and that was the most I was realistically expecting to get to. But I just kept getting through and got songs that I liked, and I think I had a bit of a unique place in that cast that year because there was a lot of like divas and like Beyonce, Rihanna style singers, and there was a lot of like more pop star people, and I clearly had a songwriting background and was original and had toured and was kind of like a bit more of a established individual, I suppose, just in a musical sense.
Yeah.
So I felt like that got me through. And then coming out of it, the exposure that you can get is crazy. Like just people in the street and like everywhere, like just traveling to different towns and people wanting photos and stuff was so whack because I just felt like the same old guy. But I definitely used that platform, and that's what I would say is the biggest make or break if you were, you know, a musician or anyone looking to do a TV show. It's like less about the show and more about what you do after and how you leverage that exposure. So like we toured really hard. Later that year we did 3 big tours and one that was all over Australia, like all the East Coast. And people were coming out that had like bootleg Sash Seabourne merch, like shirts with my face on it and stuff that they just made on a laptop or something. And
let's go.
People were just psyched. So the connections that you can make with real people is really exciting. And I think like it's a rush. Like you're playing in big theaters to 2,000 people, like they're live audiences. It's a big show. And I found that while I did struggle a lot with just the pressure involved with the live shows and really zeroing in on being a singer, which at my whole younger career, I'd always been a guitar player first. I was always a guitarist before a singer. So I studied guitar and I was always planning to be a guitar player in other people's bands. And then I just ended up in this. So yeah, I think I came out with like a real bona fide sense that I had something to offer as a solo act. And I pursued that. And that's also where I met my really good friend Beck Voicey, and we have a duo now that's also like a big part of my day-to-day life. And it was a complete game changer. Like I look back on it really fondly, despite the negative elements of which there can be. Like you can cop a lot of hate online, like sheer hatred from pure, like just strangers on Facebook.
Isn't it baffling though? Like people that have no idea, you know, obviously who you are to kind of keyboard warrior way.
Which you think won't bother you, and then you read the comments one night and you're like not able to sleep because you're like, oh, I suck. And then and like you know, there being some psychological games being played backstage with producers trying to kind of keep you up all night and get you in a mood so that you kind of have a meltdown. And
oh really?
Yeah, it's a reality TV show, so they want people to have an emotional reaction. But I was lucky to be a little bit older, like doing it. There was 15-year-olds and 18-year-olds doing it at the time. And I was a little bit, you know, like more ready for the games they wanted to play. And I didn't really subject myself to any of that too much. I was just there to play music. And I couldn't have been like happier with how it went. But that's the main thing I would say. And like to anyone who's come to me after and ask, should I do this or should I audition? I'm just like, it depends on what your plan is after the show, and what you do after the show will have far more of an impact than the show itself. And that's why you don't hear about everybody. Like Ruben, who we just saw before, has done amazingly on The Voice and had an incredible experience there, but then he's also touring really hard and he's playing all around the country, and not everybody is willing to do that. So it's like the work begins when the show is over. Yeah. That's what I would say.
We hear these stories, right? You know, like even hearing like they pick the songs that they want you to sing.
Yep.
But also like after the series, like do they control you? Like do they own like what gigs you can and can't do?
Yeah, well, it depends if you get signed. So they
Right.
When you go through a major label that will not be named, makes you sign a contract. It's called an option agreement. So it means that if you're going to participate in the show, the label now has the option to sign you if they wish. And there's a label agreement and a management agreement. And so usually the winner will get signed and maybe a couple of other people. And yeah, if you're on a major label, you are completely at the mercy of what they want to do with you. So if they want to book you for a show in Brisbane, you're going to Brisbane. You know, like you sign a contract. And in terms of music that they're releasing for you, like you'd be making less than 20% of your royalties on songs like that if you're on a major label. So I remember going into the label meeting and just being like, I am a bad prospect for you guys. Like, you do not want to, you know, to bring me into this whole work, because I knew what a major was going to do, and like I'm just not that sort of an artist. So I was like, this is a really bad idea. And by the time I got to top 10, I was kind of like, if anything, like ready to boost out of
Fair
there.
enough. Yeah.
Because I just think like, again, it depends on who you are, but I was not the pop star. I was not like Kid Laroi or whatever, and didn't want to be in that sort of a space or that sort of an artist. So if you get signed, your life will change forever. If you don't get signed, it's not too bad. It's like you can't play before, during, and after for about 6 to 8 weeks. And you're obviously not getting paid while you're over there. So I was pretty broke by the time I got back to Perth. Wow. But then you have this name that you can relate to, and that can definitely help your career.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Man, I'm so grateful for your time and sharing everything you have. And I love your songs. I've loved watching you and hearing what you've released. I actually will be in Exmouth from this weekend, and I'm up in the northwest for about 5-6 weeks. So
Sick.
You will see me with some bootleg merch in the front row, fangirling out. But it's a beautiful part of the world, and like hats off to you, man. I think you're doing a great job, and I just can't wait. Like you talk about like doing this, and I just sort of think like, man, if he doesn't think he's got 10,000 hours already, like, what is this cat gonna do? You know? And I think I don't know. I have really high expectations of where I think I will kind of see you going in the future, man. I think you've got a great trajectory. So thanks. You're gonna play us a song?
Yep.
Amazing. That'd be great. What are you gonna play?
I think I will do Raised by Rivers. That's usually my intro song. That's
Yeah.
If I got to play one, that's how I introduce myself. So I'll do that one.
Yeah, brilliant. I look forward to it. Thanks again, and we'll catch you again soon.
Thanks so much, man.
Was raised by rivers and shaped by waves. When I was young, I'd cross these waters. How I used to dive and sink. There's no one to catch you from where I came. We all just held our breath and waited for the tide to change. That river run, I hear that sound. It comes and goes in waves. Oh, I'm sinking like a stone and holding on for daybreak. But in my head goes under tonight. Baby, it's only for a moment. I can see the sunrise. Was raised by these rivers, but I wasn't meant for drowning. I was raised by riptides and soul-burnt skies. I took every black and bruise and silent still it covered half my life. I drank my sorrows in small-town pride. I'm playing the band until we lay in pieces by the waterside. That river run, I hear that sound. It comes and goes in waves. Oh, I'm sinking like a stone and holding on for daybreak. But in my head goes under tonight. Oh, it's only for a moment. I can see the sunrise. Oh, my love, oh, my blood. River run, oh. Raised by these rivers, but I wasn't meant for drowning. Oh, my feet are on the ground. Oh, like a stone and holding on for daybreak. But in my head goes under tonight. Oh, it's only for a moment I can see the sun rise. Was raised by these rivers, but I wasn't meant for drowning. Was raised by these rivers, but I wasn't meant for drowning.